Celebrating 100 subscribers with troubleshooting a trouble code on my Toyota Camry P1135. Tested the Bank 1 O2 sensor heater, failed with the open circuit, so I went to start removing it. Got to break out my two O2 sensors, deep socket and the crow's foot. Mistake was not watching YouTube ahead of time, where I would have learned that if it's stuck, a lot of times these special sockets, if they're cheap ones, will just open up and round the bolt off, which definitely happened to me. Apparently you could use a hose clamp to kind of keep them clamped on. I ended up cutting the wires and going to town with various 22 millimeter wrenches. Ended up with KTC 12 point kind of damaging the fastener, so I ended up using the Craftsman 7/8 6-point wrench. Works great, but I just couldn't get the leverage. I should have watched YouTube and saw that I should have been tapping the wrenches with a hammer, heating up with matte gas, and going easy on it back and forth instead of just brute forcing it off, which I unfortunately started doing. So I've probably already ruined the threads. I almost got a full turn, I think, at this point, but the torque is increasing up near 200 foot-pounds, definitely at least 100. So it's very stuck on there. These are all the various tools I was using to try to break it off. So it requires a deep socket because it's so long and it pushes you right against the firewall. So I was thinking, hey, why don't I try to cut off the sensor with a Sawzall, and then I could use shorter sockets and have much more room at it. It will help when I do end up with the heat on there. I'm going to go buy a list of tools I have so far to get this thing off. Are some type of matte gas torch, 22 millimeter extractor socket, a crayon to melt into the threads when it's hot, and Sawzall blades. Apparently the blades I have, the O2 sensor is winning the battle, so it must be something with the ceramic in there. So here's the tools I've laid out that I was going to use today. Unfortunately, I only have propane torch. I'm not sure if that's going to be hot enough, but I do see a plastic fitting near the area, so I might just go with the propane, thinking like, hey, I don't want to go too crazy heating this thing up. But the first step I want to do is cut it off so I can get in there with shorter sockets, and I even broke out the 3/4 inch ratchet for this. So still got the 7/8 6-point wrench. I did buy a thread chaser for O2 sensors, and dreaming that I haven't damaged the threads too much at this point, and that I'm going to be able to get this out without removing the exhaust manifold, which would just be even more of a nightmare for me. So trying to do DIY auto maintenance. I'm trying to recover from this stuck O2 sensor. I thought, car's not rusty, shouldn't be stuck on there. Let me just brute force it off. Huge mistake. I should have at least heated it up with the car. But I'm hoping I can recover from this mistake. It may have just been stuck on there, and nothing I would have done would have helped. But here I am placing the blade of the Sawzall right off the nut there. So I'm hoping I can cut it off. But unfortunately, like I said, it just ate up the blade. So I'm off to the store to buy more supplies on the list. Extractor socket, crayon, matte gas, new Sawzall blades. If any one of my 100 subscribers could recommend anything else that could help me get this O2 sensor off, I'd appreciate it.